Welcome to Spirit Baby Radio. You are about to join a frequency that will open your mind, expand your heart, and activate your spirit. Thank you for joining Kelly Meehan, Spirit Baby Medium and Master Energy Therapist. Kelly believes in the power of the Spirit Baby. She speaks with babies in spirit before life, in the womb, and after life. She supports, teaches, and guides others to tune into the intuitive and mystical parts of life for greater wisdom. Join her in meeting your soul baby and build your connection and relationship with deep love and trust. Welcome to Spirit Baby Radio with your host, Spirit Baby Medium, Kelly.
Welcome to episode 112, May 7th, 2021. The Heart of Spirit Baby and Worlds Within Worlds of Communication. What is the Heart Energy Center? How do you access true heart awareness? Are you often questioning your Spirit Baby communication practices? How can you work with an open heart experience from conception into parenthood? Deep breaths. I always want to say happy May 7th, 2021 and beyond. But today I would like to dedicate this episode, as I have in the month of April, to Mother Love, and today is the 4-year. I like Angelversary. Somebody came up with that, one of the in my afterlife of Spirit Baby birth loss, Angelversary, Deathiversary day of my dearest oldest brother. So today it's all about the heart and brother love, and dedicated to his Nagbot and his Mario and his Star Wars and all the things he enjoyed Earthside, and his connection to who he is now and that multidimensional truth that he gets to expand into, but it's not without sadness and grief. The heart. Perfect, right? Honoring, heart living, heart being. What does that mean? I mean, really sitting there and reflect for a moment. When people speak about being from the heart, living from the heart, choosing from the heart, having an open heart, having a sad heart, having a broken heart, having a betrayed heart, feeling disconnected from the heart, I feel like the heart is a mega power center to who we are. Some call it the seat of the soul, the space of love. I've used the word freedom, connection, oneness. I feel like there's a lot of connections to the heart. I feel like if we were to close our eyes, right, and really sink into the heart, not the mind, not the thinking mind, which the thinking mind does take over for the heart quite often, and then it becomes the mind thinking. It doesn't become really connecting and letting the mind listen to the way the heart moves, not just the physical beating heart and breath, but this energy center, what emanates from the heart. And as I've said years ago, something I said often is that conception begins in the heart space and everything else around that then becomes. And so by that, once that agreement, that deeper connection of light in the heart space, it gets written, we'll say, inside the womb space, a part of, life, a part of creation. And it's not just the creation within the own womb, but the creation of mother and that next piece of transformation, that next connection of love and the power. And I really love Kristen Northrup has in her book, Women's Bodies, Women's Wisdom. It's an oldie classic, a good one. And in one of the chapters, it talks about the high heart and the low heart. And so the high heart is the heart, and the womb is the low heart. And I really love that. And it's so beautiful because it's like there's two hearts within us. And, the heart of our own light and creation, and then the heart of human creation. And so it's such a beautiful reminder. And I feel like it's important that we do that. Where is our heart? There are days where I'm not so disciplined, where I'll wake up and lay in bed and go, where is my heart? What is this connection? Is it the God heart? Is it the Goddess heart? Is it the heart of gold? Is it universal heart? Is it the source of who I am? Is it something more? It can be whatever you want it to be, really. It's really the synergistic energy you create in that heart space that then ripples out to all parts of your own consciousness, to the deliciousness of your cells, of your physical structure, into the emotions, into the intellectual part of who you are, letting it all, I love the word massage, energetically massage through you, this effervescent heartness of who you are. And I accessing the heart, talking about the heart, I said it really, I feel like it gets me excited because now I'm like all energized by my own heart space. And there's some things I've been researching around the heart, like what is this heart? Like, how do we even come into this space? What does it mean? And I know today is such a different world where we have yoga and chakras and different religions, Christianity, Judaism, ancient times. What is the connection to that? And I have a few different things to share that I started to research. I was curious. And I feel like there's so much more to what I'm saying, and it feels kind of exciting to explore this depth of the heart and again, accessing it, letting it be there, and really the pureness and love of it. It's like, if this is the seed of the soul, what does that truly mean? And, and the heart goes through so much, right? We have fear, betrayal, disconnect. We have physical issues that come up around the heart. Some people are born with physical issues with the heart. And what is that? And of course, I always go into the energetic lineage of hearts that get passed on through experiences in life, and how we get to heal our hearts, right? I mean, that's the next piece. It's like the healing of the heart, the being really the true centeredness of the heart. And of course, there's different ways around that, different meditations, different things with song and music, maybe dancing with the heart, drawing with the heart, being, acknowledging, allowing the expression and the process of the heart, the poetry of the heart, alchemy of the heart, which I say because I have a book before me that's called Alchemy of the Heart, How to Give and Receive More Love by Elizabeth Clare Prophet. And this is it's such a beautiful little pink book, and it has this pink jewel and love light. And Elizabeth Clare Prophet the energy of her work is very much entrenched with the violet flame. It's okay if you don't know all these terms, but there's something I almost feel like with this particular energy, and it's the way I tune into it. I could just feel the works of Elizabeth Clare Prophet. I could just feel the essence and energy of the book without even opening it, which I can do that with some books, which is really fun. I feel like there's some deep resonance that is so energetic and not so caught up in the thought process. Like I have to read the words. But the words are beautiful, and I'm just going to flip through this book. This book, I have very many copies of this book at one time, and I just kept passing them around to people. Like, you want to borrow it? You want to keep it? It just felt like it was a good tool if someone is struggling in that heart space, and they're just like, I don't know what to do or how to move. It does go into the energy of Christ and God, and so you can always reform that into universal heart source connection, whatever feels right. But it's a sweet book, and it has little meditations in it and different perceptions and perspectives of the heart. But it's an easy read too, and so I love there are these little boxes in here with quotes. I'm going to read some of them. Love is to learn from everything, to see the gifts of God and the generosity of God in everything. And that's by Musafir. If the only prayer you say in your whole life is thank you, that would suffice. Eckhart. Let's see. Love is not, which alters when it alterations find. Oh no, it is an ever fixed mark. I that looks as tempest and never shaken. William Shakespeare. The story of love is not important. What is important is that one is capable of love. Helen Haight. Let's see, what other hearts? Some of them I'm like, I don't know about that quote. Love and you shall be loved. All love is mathematically just, as much as two sides of an algebraic equation, by Emerson. You get my idea about the alchemy of love and questioning, where is your alchemy of love? What alchemy are you creating with Spirit Baby, whether you are in conception, pregnancy, or healing with loss towards conception, or just healing with loss? What is happening to that heart space? And I'm going to talk a little bit about all those little pieces to see what is this connection with Spirit Baby and the connection of your own heart center. But before I do that, I did want to share, going back into the heart again, Brother Love, it's all about the heart space and all about the expansive of the heart. And when I connect with people in the heart space, so people know that when they have the experience with me in a private session, I look at the energy centers, and I always look at the heart space. And some people's heart spaces, I do see physiological things with people, but most of the time they already know. People get scared. Are you going to tell me something I don't know? Most people already know if they have stuff, high blood pressure, or like heart stuff. It's pretty much understood. But I do see those things that sometimes, I do see the blood vessels, the cardiovascular, the pulmonary system, which is good. I want to see how I could be of service in that way. And then the heart, on top of that layer of the physical, the beating of the heart, the valves, the blood flow, and how it interacts with all other organs and parts of the body. And underneath the heart is the thymus. Maybe I'll do an episode on that. They call it the hidden heart chakra. And you could tap that, and there's different physical healing methods to do to open that space and that next part of your awareness. And beyond the physical, I'll see the emotional and spiritual, and even, other emotional energies connected, even with family members, other losses, as well as emotional stuff, just emotional stuff. Sometimes there's grief, sadness, excitement. There's beautiful healing energies, empaths. Sometimes it's emanating light workers, energy glowing from the heart space. There's so many different things. I'm trying to scan through my mental space right now to remember. And sometimes it's the front of the heart, the back of the heart, and then they all interact with each other. So even though we're saying the heart space, we're dividing it up. It really is an interaction of the whole entire synergistic awareness of the energy field of all bodies of being. And so I want to give you more heart stuff right now. And because again, I was questioning, what did they think in Egypt, right? We go back to Egyptian times, which is really powerful times around our planet back in the day, back in history. I can't give you exact numbers. I'm not a number person by nature. But also I always feel like the timelines of these worlds and these realities don't exist before us anyways. But Egyptian times, what did they think about the heart? Or what is the symbol of the heart? There was a symbolism of the heart through the Roman times. Or what is the Sanskrit connection to the heart? What about Christianity? What do they think about the heart? I started questioning, what about Judaism and paganism? What are these different traditions connect with the heart? And so I'm going to read something I found here around the heart within the Egyptian times. It's sit back in our heart space and tune into that Egyptian energy. The second part of judgment process was the weighing of the heart ceremony. The heart, which contained a record of all the deceased actions in life, was weighed against the feather of the goddess Mat. This feather was a symbol for truth and justice and helped determine whether the deceased person had indeed been virtuous. If the heart was found to be heavier than the feather, it was fed to Amut, the devourer, and the soul was cast into the darkness. If the scales were balanced, the deceased had passed the test and was taken before Orias, who welcomed them into the afterlife. For those who were concerned about this test, they could recite the spell, 30B from the Book of the Dead, inscribed on their heart scarab amulet to prevent their heart from betraying them. Ooh, it's powerful. The gods, the goddesses, connecting in that time. The heart symbol. So this is something new to me. Is I didn't realize they used, even as money, there was these symbols of that were shaped like a heart. And the heart is a symbol, is universal. It's love, of course. We know that, romantic love even, compassion, affection, charity. And the symbol used in history is found in ancient Rome coins. And there's a lot of ambiguity, I can't say that word, ambiguity, about the origin of the heart symbol as its only remote resemblance to the human body organ it represents. In fact, it is largely believed to have been derived from the shape of the seed pod of Syphilium, an herb popular among Romans as a contraceptive. Another belief, the symbol originated from the shape of leaves, typically ivy leaves. The Greek associated ivy with god Dionys, the god of passion, wine, and other sensual things. Perhaps the later led the heart symbol to be connected with romantic love. The longevity and resilience of the ivy vine are seen as symbolic of eternal love. And some people link the heart with upside-down triangle associated with divine feminine power. The inverted triangle also symbolizes the water element, which makes heart a sign of intuition, psychic perception, emotion, transition, and motion. Oh my gosh, don't you love that? I love that. Sanskrit, I'm going to give only a little piece. Anahata is heart. It's heart chakra, the fourth primary chakra, according to Hindu yogic Shakta and Buddhist tantric traditions. Anahata means unhurt, unstuck, unbeaten. I have to say that I had a friend who used to live around here, a great woman. I believe she moved away, and her daughter, she named her Anahata. Like, how amazing is that? Magic Anahata. That's her name. And such a powerful name. She's the heart. It's her heart, right? It's her baby. And I remember I did her blessing way, and it was done many a blessing ways. It was really beautiful because somebody danced for the mother. Wow, what an honor. And I'm going to go into two more quotes, and then I'm going to kind of shift us into more of this heart awareness with spirit baby communication. And so what about Christianity? The Bible uses the word heart primarily to refer to the ruling center of the whole person, the spring of all desires. The heart is seen as the seat of the will, intellect, and feelings. Character, personality, mind are approximate modern terms for the Bible's meaning of heart. In Jewish tradition, the heart is also seat of all emotions. There is, I'm not going to say this right, I apologize, I don't speak Hebrew, midrash that lists over 60 emotions of the heart. Among these emotions, the heart sees, hears, speaks, falls, stands, rejoices, weeps, comforts, sorrows. Our hearts are the vessel of both our feelings and our wisdom, which is from Ecclesiastes Rabbah 1:1-6. Taking that in, I feel like taking a pause to breathe in the goodness of the heart and how within history and with so many traditions, we've built this world and beautiful awareness around the heart, even today with heart math, which a lot of people are familiar with, looking at the physiology, because now we are all about science, right? And so there's a physiological electromagnetic field of impulses that emanate from the heart. And it is said in the studies is that where you stand within 6 feet around you, that is your heart space. So when people walk into your heart space, you may feel them. If you're somebody that's a heart feeler, an empath, or someone that's body self-aware, you feel people in your heart space. If you don't, you're not aware. Sorry, that's how that works. So you can, encourage that, because it's really good to know where your body is, because in your heart you make choices and decisions, right? In your heart of intuition, which you need for conception and pregnancy, because without the source of your own heart and your connection to who you are, everything external is just external. And our world is so external, right? We get massive amounts of external input, and at the same time, we respond to that call of energy, to that intellect, to that physical connection. But in truth, what we want to do, especially on a journey of conception, and let's say there's been a struggle, or you're going on year 3 or 5 or 7 or 10, where are you finding your grounded connection to your heart space? And I don't, many people say, well, I am connected to my heart, Kelly, or it feels like this in my heart. And maybe you are. Maybe there are things happening. But when I see what happens is, here's my number one thing, I can see the intellect and the intelligent ration of fear within people. And so what happens when that one-on-one session, I'm like, wow, it's so interesting. They're in their thoughts of the heart, which is different than actually being in the physical body of the heart. And that resonating field, we'll call it, of light, of movement, of gold, of silver, of opal essence, whatever it is you want to bring down into that heart space. The heart, remember, is that electromagnetic field. It's a brain. It's really a brain of the body. It's actually, scientifically, in heart math, they've discovered that the heart actually has a stronger frequency of electromagnetic energy and communication than the actual brain does. But it's interesting how we've made it all about the brain and the mind and the thoughts, because the crown is powerful. The crown, it has our motor skills, it connects us to this world and language, but the brain can be dead and the soul is still very much alive, right? And so we've seen this with near-death experiences. And as I'm like a big proponent into this great documentary, which I shared months ago, is Surviving Death on Netflix, episode 1. A doctor gets into this accident and she's brain dead for 30 minutes, but she has complete visual interpretations of her whole experience. So how can she be dead but yet know everything and still be alive, quote unquote? And the same thing with spirit baby. This is why spirit babies know things. They see things before, because their soul is very present. They don't need a body yet, and they get information. This is how you get communication. This is how you get really clear in your heart space, because in your heart space, you're grounding into how you're connecting in that communicative world with yourself, with this being. So getting your heart somewhat cleared out. You know, I'm not going to say it's okay to have heartbreak. It's okay to have transformative energies moving into the heart, because let's say you have birth loss. Let's say you went through a miscarriage, a stillbirth, infancy loss. Your heart is megally cracked open, right? I mean, there's major stuff happening, not just grief and all these other emotional pieces, but there's change, there's transformation, there's, you know, so much happening. And it's hard to hold to know where that is or how to move with it. And then your heart is calling outwardly that next piece of the journey of moving into conception and pregnancy, but with maybe half investment. And why half investment? I mean, with reluctance, with fear, with uncertainty, with doubt, but that's okay. I've seen it many, many times with many that I've supported. That's normal. It's hard for us to normalize things because we feel uncomfortable by them, but it really is normal connections. This is why I absolutely love community. This is why I love support, because we need to be a team. We need to be the spirit baby team. And as a spirit baby team of other like-minded, heart-minded, heart-being, heart-centered, light souls calling in creation, letting your children come to you in different ways at different times. We need each other to do that, to access that. As well, of course, as your own inner journey, because the heart of conception is calling you, and you hear it, and you're responding. And that's the heart of conception. I could talk about that for hours and days. There's so much energy to build around that and to access that within ancestors, within past lives, within present connection. And I'm not going to say you have to go through all those lives, because it can be, your mind's probably like, oh, what's happening? Really centering into that heart space, doing, you know, a chanting, a humming, sound, meditation. And there's so many gorgeous things you could Google on YouTube, heart stuff, heart meditations, like what comes up. You'd probably be there for hours and days. And so being able to access that, be with that, experiment with that. How does the heart of conception fuel you? Where are you putting that? Where are you putting that beacon of light to baby being? Like, hello, baby being, baby beings, I'm here. Let's connect. Let's communicate. And I will keep doing it. I'll keep showing up, and that's really important. And even in the heart of conception, heart of pregnancy, let's say move conception into pregnancy. I do feel like in pregnancy, I feel like the heart gets, I like to call it cracked open and kind of reformed and reconnected to like where you are in your journey of life, because now there's this being growing inside you in a deep level of responsibility. I'll never forget, it was over 10 years ago, my gosh, over 10 years ago. I was probably 2 weeks into pregnancy, but I didn't know it yet. It was different with the first one, and the second one I knew right away. So with the first, it was a very scary experience for me to move, and I remember it was the second week of May, and it was interesting. It could have been even around Mother's Day. I had this feeling in my heart that just literally burst through me, and I was like, whoa. I was like, what is that feeling? And I felt like I knew what it was like to be a mother. And I was like, was this how people feel? This is amazing. This is incredible. Like, what is that? And I just kind of whatever. I just kind of, was like, oh, okay. I always get experiences, and very aware of my heart space because I know the language of my heart and I dip into it. I use my intuition with it and trust, and it's always saved me. Even in really difficult times when, for example, another example I have is I had to transfer for my birth, and it was highly traumatic around me. My external environment was like, what is happening? I literally felt like time was freezing, and I was just kind of moving through the slow motion of it. You never see like an accident. That's what it felt like, traumatic accident. And I remember feeling this chaos, this fear. It was so strong, but then I felt this tiny, tiny bit of glow of intuition that was like, no, you're good. Keep your eyes closed. Move with this. Stay in your center. Stay with your baby, right? I was like, whoa, what's that? Okay, but it's so easy to go outside of us. But keeping my eyes closed and listening, even though I felt like I wasn't sure if I should listen because the fear, right, is highly persuasive. And so the heart is never wrong. Not that it has to be right or wrong, but when you can really access that really infinite space of the heart, you'll know, you will know. It's an experience. You lay there, you know, you access it, and you literally are touching within worlds, and you let your mind dance with it. You don't overjudge it or shut it down or become skeptical. And so as you're moving into the journey into parenthood, and maybe you've experienced loss, multiple loss, and you question, right? There's levels of heart cracking open on that. And you're still, questioning and healing and being and expanding. Because really that's the ultimateness, right, is the expansion of loss, what I call is the brushing of death within you, and the ability to have life and creation all at the same exact time. And what perception of the loss, what will it be like for you in your body? What will it be like to really see and connect with your heart space? Can you allow the grief to come through without denying it, without pushing it, or feeling like you've cleaned your hands of it, that you're done with it? Done with it. We got to be careful with those words. Emotions. It's like saying, I'm done being sad for the rest of my life. It's a mental construct. It's unrealistic. And everybody grieves. I don't care who you are. I don't care if they're like, no, I'm fine. I'm not grieving. Everything's good. I'm moving on. No. You will always have levels of grief moving in and out of you, and whatever it's connected to, whether it's a person, a baby, whether it's around life. You have to. You are set up that way. You are not. And if you want to fool yourself into thinking that, you're just getting trapped in the mental energies. Oh, how those mental energies will keep you, right? They will keep you in one place and living in a world of falseness, to be honest. And I see it from time to time with certain clients, and I'm sure it's a nervousness of my presence. And when I'm working with them, I want to see them drop into their body. Where is the rest of your body, your heart, your nervous system, the body and mind? There's a reason why we say body and mind, because they act as separate entities. And I have been fooled upon myself, I'll say, or feared. I felt that. The kind of the dissection and the separation. But when you integrate where the mind and the heart and the whole body get to meet, you get to have a pretty incredible life, to be honest. And it may not feel that way at first, because if you've never been really connected to all parts of you and seeing and sensing and knowing, it can be quite frightening. And because you're integrating this experience with your internal and external world within your embodiment. And as I say, we have to have certain levels of embodiment to really be able to listen to spirit baby being, right? Because how are you going to do that? You can't think your way into communication. You have to have that openness of the soul. Kind of like when I mentioned that woman who was in her afterlife for moments, right? 30 minutes, her brain was dead. Then what is that? What is that? How science is so like, wow, this happens a lot. And how do people, how do you rationalize that? You don't need to. You just trust it. You become a part of it. You see that this inner mystic of who you are continues to expand and become something and has value, and it's all of who you are, no matter what other people think or what you think their judgment is of you, right? That's the big piece that really gets people in the heart. What will they think? What will they feel? Does that really matter? I mean, what really matters is how you get to build your energy, and that's like, I say it with a bit of a chuckle, but it really takes your own self-work. It takes you to going into identifying core things of who you are sometimes even from the foundation of your own infancy. And I've seen that before with some clients, is that they have foundational issues in infancy, even how they were conceived. And it's interesting because you don't think about it, but it's a part of you. Even though in infancy and even on an embryonic level, there is, it's pre-verbal, right? There's pre-verbal even as an infant born into the world. There's a lot of body awareness. But I would say, what about soul and spirit awareness? And so even on an embryonic level, the soul and spirit has wisdom and connection and may not fully be completely invested yet in the body, but has a resonance with it, right? The soul is like, okay, I'm going to pick this embryo, and let's say for going through intervention, IVF. Or if baby's like, oh, there's that, look at that ovum and sperm, they're going to get it on, and I think I'm going to be a part of that. Let's see what this looks like. And so there's resonating energy and a level of soul awareness that happens, and it's so hard for us, right? We get so sciencey and cerebral, and that's really has been a great joy, right? With a lot of amazing inventions from stem cell and different heart surgeries and things that really have a great benefit, but it has a dark edge and a shadow, right? It's like, well, you need all the intervention, you need all the medicine, you need all the injections, and then that's where it gets dark and kind of scary. And so the balance right now, we want to tip it into the mystic, into the light, into the gut reaction, into the heart feeler. That's really where our new world energy wants to really develop into, because we are all here in this globe of conscious evolution, and the heart is, the seat of the soul, the expansiveness. And baby beings are activating your heart, absolutely, whatever different level it is. Even if let's say you're going through adoption or surrogacy, baby is still in access with that heart expansion. And so access your heart. Be with your heart. See where your heart wants to take you. See where it wants to guide you. See what those next steps are to sitting in the sweetness, the love, the grace and beauty of your heart. Really not just for you, but also for this journey of connecting with Spirit Baby. The Spirit Baby has their own heart space, and not that they have to really fully access it, because I feel like the whole body of baby is a heart space. How about that? From the construct of a body from the head to the nose to the toes. The whole entire being is just heart. There doesn't have to be this, oh, well, baby has to sit in their heart space and connect with you. It's the whole being is heart. So what is your heart resonating with? The love, that connection that you're building with baby being in this time. And that's why it's so powerful in conception. I've seen women do it, sitting in the energetic space, accessing it. And again, dropping the intellect. Get out of your head. Listen to what wants to serve you next in this intuitive space. And I know because I get a lot of women that come to me with struggle. I'd say majority. I'd say maybe 90%, maybe 95%. I'd say 90% are looking for conception and looking for answers. And the other percentage is pregnancy. I don't get a lot of, or conception to pregnancy if we're working together. And of course, healing loss, different levels of loss from miscarriage, termination, to stillbirth, to infancy loss, to later loss, even beyond infancies on occasion. And so accessing your own self-awareness, letting your heart guide your journey, maybe even creating your own intuitive Spirit Baby communication heart practice, right? Remember, Spirit Baby being, close your eyes for a moment. Spirit Baby being is all heart. And look how that baby being merges with your heart in this moment, in this time, and how it just grounds you and roots you down into your sacral, into the womb space, grounding you to this world, to this earth, and that you are here, you are showing up, and you are in a space of continuous receiving. I want to now, as we're coming to the end of this heart space, May 7th, 2021, Brother Love, a really gorgeous book called Chakras, Balance Your Body's Energy for Health and Harmony by Patricia Mercer, Mercier. I don't believe this book is in print anymore, but I've found it once at a thrift store, and I buy them every time I see them. It's very gorgeous, very colorful, and it has things I've never heard before about the chakras, the energy centers, right? Talks about even, and I'm going to read some of them because I just think it's really beautiful, and I want you to continue to see. This is the episode of heart. So, heart chakra. And it's just like a list, and I'm going to skip through some of them and give you some power things to connect with your heart space. Anahata, Indian name. Associated element, air. Symbol, 12-petaled lotus flower. Color of petals, grass green. Indian god and goddess, Isha and Kakini. Indian animal, antelope. Key issues, passion, tenderness, inner child issues, and rejection. Energy function, receptor, distributor of unconditional love energy. Location, center of chest on sternum. Spinal area associated, fourth thoracic vertebrae. Physiological symptoms, circulatory, lymphatic, and immune systems. Endocrine gland, thymus. Nerve plexus, heart plexus. Body sense, touch. Life lesson, honoring the earthly forms of divine love. Mental action, passion. Emotional action, love. Spiritual action, devotion. Gemstone to activate, emerald. Gemstone to calm, sapphire and topaz. Crystals to balance, aventurine, rose quartz, rhodonite, and rhodocerite. Essential oil, rose. Planets, Venus and Mercury. Metals, copper and mercury. Native American animal, mammals. Color for balance activation, spring green. Colors to calm, magenta and pink. So all these different, all those pieces I just offered you, the words, the areas, physical areas, the emotional areas, the crystals, the planets, the animals, let that sink in, let that further deepen and activate your heart. And so wherever you are in your journey of conception, pregnancy, healing loss, knowing the heart always has you. It is all of you. It is a part of you. It is a part of your children, your child. And always remember that, always hold that and know that. And I leave you with this. May my heart be in the heart of the universe. May the heart of the universe be in my heart. May my heart be in the heart of the earth. May the heart of the earth be in my heart. Many blessings. Thank you for joining episode 112, The Heart of Spirit Baby and Worlds Within Worlds of Communication. If you like this episode, please subscribe, leave reviews, and thank you for joining. And don't forget, I have a journal, Sacred Communication, a Spirit Baby journal, and Spirit Baby Oracle, Answers from Spirit Baby. Get your connections at soulbabycommunication.com.
This is Spirit Baby Radio. Thank you for joining Kelly in the energy of awareness, love, healing, and soul communication. Please join the next episode at www.soulbabycommunication.com.